Hi, everybody. Welcome to my live today. I have a very special guest, and I wanted to talk about how you can become recession proof. So, there are several small business owners out there who are right now shut down, and they're thinking about how am I going to pay my bills? What am I going to do, in the meantime until we can get back up for business? And then there are also people who have been laid off, whether you've been furloughed or you've been permanently let go because of this. So I wanted to bring a little bit of light to you today to talk about what we do in our business school and also in network marketing in general to sort of be recession proof. And who better to talk about that than Rick Gutman? So he's been in 3 different industries. He's been through the recessions, and he has some advice and some insight into how we're handling this right now and how you can too. So I'm going to bring him on. Hi, Rick.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Thanks so much for doing this today.
Of course, happy to be here.
So I wanted you to kind of talk a little bit about, the trends that happen when recession occurs. So typically we know that entrepreneurship thrives in a recession, and you may not see it during that time, but you see it in the months following or years following. Some of the best businesses happened back in 2008, Uber, Airbnb, all of those. So I wanted to kind of get your perspective on that. And maybe since you were in real estate at the time of the last recession, how that impacted you and how you pivoted.
Sure. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people around the world, but especially here in the United States, namely here in the United States, that um, have already made the decision that they're not going to go back to work.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, that's always a good thing when you decide to rely on um, your own thoughts, your own destiny, your own purpose. You decide that you're going to build a business. You're going to put yourself back in the driver's seat of your life, right? Become the CEO of your own life, your own business. To me, I think that's the very best decision anyone could make, right? Because if you can learn, then you could earn. And so there's a lot of people that are like, you know what, I'm done being the victim. And those are the choices that people that have that spark of entrepreneurism on the inside of them, those are the choices that people like that make. And that's why some of the largest businesses in the world happened right in the middle of a recession, even a depression.
Mm-hmm.
And we will see it once again. And it's not, I mean, it's a fact that entrepreneurism heats up
Mm-hmm.
in times like this. And they say entrepreneurs are 5 times more likely to command um, a strong income in times like this than anyone else. In fact, their earning power is 5 to 10 times higher because of that,
Mm-hmm.
right? And there's a couple of things that are in there too. I mean, the things that I think of all offhand is one is they decide to go it alone. They start a business. Number two, now because they're not employees anymore working for somebody else, their quality of income changes. So now they have expenses and they can write things off and they get to keep more of what they make.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so a whole new world opens up to them.
Mm-hmm.
And when you can keep more of what you make, you can save more. And when you can save more, you can invest more. And when you can invest more, you create multiple avenues to earn income.
Mm-hmm.
And that's healthy. You want as many streams of income as you can. And so keeping more of what you earn is much better. And the more free time that you have, the more you can study about you leveraging systems and creating systems that would run themselves. So what I'm saying is when you step onto that journey, you get to rely on your gifting and your imagination.
Mm-hmm.
And your imagination is a God-given characteristic to create.
Mm-hmm.
And when people finally discover that as long as they're creating, they can earn tremendous amounts of income and create tremendous amount of freedom in their time. When they learn to use their imagination and take it from the drawing board of their mind and put it on paper and then bring it to life, when they learn to do that, they look back and go, man, I'm so happy that I made the decision that I did when I did. And I'll say that it's times like this where people get pushed out of the nest. Many of them are being forced to have to jump out of that nest and learn to fly, but they were always capable of flying. They were
Mhm.
just too comfortable. And so, not all events like this are a bad thing when it comes to a person making decisions for their career.
Mhm.
Uh, Horrible for people that are fighting sickness, but outside of that, a person can create and imagine an avenue and be rerouted, and always find a way to win and make money in any situation. But most of the time they don't know that, and so
Yeah.
situations like this cause them to have to find a way to win.
Yeah.
And again, they're always capable of it. If you're watching out there, you're totally capable of going it alone. You're totally capable of creating a new career. You're totally capable of earning more than you ever have. You just don't know that yet.
Yeah.
And so that's the heart of an entrepreneur. Now, notice your title is recession proof. I mean, I think home-based businesses uh, are recession proof, because in a time of recession, more and more people go, so and so has been building a home based business for many years, and I always said no to them. I wonder if I should have another conversation with them, because I'm tired of being the victim. I don't want to be laid off. I don't want to be furloughed. I don't want somebody controlling my time anymore. I don't want to give a company my life only to be marked as a number. I want to
Mhm.
create my own value. And so the network marketing space, is been labeled a recession proof business as a result of that. Does it mean that, that sales, it doesn't affect us? Yeah, it affects us, but your earning power has no limits,
Mhm.
right? And that's what's powerful. And in situations like this, more and more people are coming to us. I mean, you can see how our team is growing, how many people are enrolling at a time like this that normally wouldn't. Because it's actually the first time that they sat down and said, I want to see what this looks like on paper. I'm not going to listen to Uncle Joe who said it's like this or it's like that. I want to see the business plan. And it's
Mhm.
always those that look at the business plan for the first time with real attention and a childlike curiosity. Those are the ones that see it and go, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I said no for so long. What was I thinking? Well, you never really thought, you never really looked at it. Because when you look at the plan, there's a reason why small business owners and people that know business have said yes to this and never to return
Mhm.
to doing business the way they did ever again.
And
I left in
that happened with
2007.
you. I was just going to say that happened with you. You never looked at it prior to
Mm-mm,
the last
I
recession
didn't.
that we had in 2008, right? So can you talk a little bit about that? And even with Matt Williams, Matt's very successful in real estate. You were both very successful, millionaires in that industry. And then when
Yes.
that happened, then it started to change and you were both more vulnerable to open to looking at something. So
Yeah.
are people in that profession especially, what happened with you when you finally sat down and looked at it?
Well, I'll say that I was more vulnerable because the real estate industry was crashing, and I wanted to be able to keep the same quality of life. And I had made millions in that industry, and I ran from it simply because everyone that had ever approached me didn't approach me from the business perspective. They didn't speak my language.
Mm-hmm.
They made big deals about the product. They made big deals about how we're all gonna be rich, and how you don't have to work, and those are all the things that don't sound like real business. So I ran from it. But when a friend was making $100,000 a month in passive income was something that I looked for, and I was creating in rental properties. And so I knew that was a very desirable income, and I wanted 100% of the way I earn it to be passive. And so that caused me to look at it, and because it was my price to pay attention. I think everybody's got that price to pay attention. That was mine. And so when I looked at it on paper, it was everything that I was doing as a small business owner without the financial responsibility and the headaches. It
Mm-hmm.
was like it was like I mean, I'll just say it. If I had a vitamin company or any other company, I'm on the hook for everything. I'm on the hook for the warehouses, the products, the labeling, the shipping, the employees, the liability, the workload, all of it. If I have websites, designing websites, maintaining websites, apps on the phone, all of that comes with all that comes with a demand for financial resources.
Mm-hmm.
And when I looked at network marketing, they handled all of that, and all you did was teach people how to run a business. In effect, when I look at the network marketing space, not only is it like an invisible franchise, but so many people want to be consultants in life. And what it really made me is a very high paid consultant, because I no longer had to pay for any of that. I mean, I was able to build multi-million-dollar businesses in all over the world without any employees. Imagine having an international business without any employees, with no trucks, very little inventory, no warehouses, no employees, tax at the lowest percentage because it's passive, and leverage a system instead of being the system.
Mm-hmm.
So it was everything that I wish I could have had in traditional business, but it was impossible. As soon as I stepped into the network marketing space, now I could teach people how to own and operate a distribution business, and how to increase their capacity, and how to understand the day-to-day tasks, the mental and emotional tasks of owning a business,
Mm-hmm.
and then the mechanics of how to do it, the philosophy, the end goal, how to be tapped into your dream, how to be able to get what you want out of life. It opened up, you know, every single area of growth in a person's understanding of business and life. And I could teach on all of those subjects.
Mm-hmm.
And having had so many experiences, because I owned businesses from the time I was 17 years old, it was really easy for me to take the financial education that I learned from the Rich Dad, Poor Dad franchise with Kiyosaki and Sharon Lechter. I did that for 5 years, but then I was able to tap into all the years of being a business owner, and combine all of that
Mm-hmm.
and be able to teach people how to really own and operate a business. And so um, that was very easy for me to see. It was very easy for Matt to see it too. He had made multiple millions of dollars in many different businesses, and he was as reluctant to see it as I was. But I came to him with the language of business. I spoke a language that he understood, and he had 8 or 10 other people approach him on the same exact, company that I aligned myself with. And he said absolutely hell no to all of them, but yet he said absolutely hell yes to me. Why? Because I spoke the language of understanding, because everyone else was leading with stuff that wouldn't really truly tell the truth about the credibility and the professionalism and how lucrative this industry really is. They failed to be able to communicate that to somebody who knew business.
Mm-hmm.
And so that there's something to be said there,
Yeah.
right? Most people that are saying no to the industry, they're saying no because the people that are approaching them are coming to them with a working class language instead of a business entrepreneurial language, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because what does an entrepreneur want to hear? What does a small business owner wants to hear? They want to hear about systems that can run themselves. They want to hear about what passive income is and what it could, do for their life. Most of them don't know what that is, right? They want to know that you can leverage a system that does all of that for them.
Mm-hmm.
Entrepreneurs want to know that they can have multiple locations, not just one.
Mm-hmm.
Entrepreneurs want to know that they don't have to peddle products from their garage, you know.
Yeah.
I have my business has done over $35 million in the last 3 years, and it's debt free. Ask me if I've ever seen even one of those products go out the door for delivery, because the answer is none. I've never seen any of them, because it's not what I do. It's not what I have to do. It's not what any of my team has to do.
Mm-hmm.
We leverage that. That's powerful. An entrepreneur would want to hear that. An entrepreneur wants to know that you can do business in multiple countries and never have to travel there
Mm-hmm.
unless you want to,
Yeah.
right? So they have a global reach. Entrepreneurs want to know that. So you got to put that language together and communicate the industry the way it deserves.
And yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
that's so
that's why it's
powerful
easy
with
for
our,
us.
yeah, and that's why it's so powerful with our business school. And I think that it's funny because I see what's happening on our team. We're adding more and more people, like you said, in this time, and you start to see people rank advancing. You're seeing all of these things. And it's because I think we've been preparing for something like this over the last 2 to 3 years that we've been in the business school. Everyone that is on our team is looking at this as, yes, we understand that this is a global pandemic, and we are not minimizing that at all, but we're also looking at this as that is no reason for us to live in fear and stop, and not help people in the way that we know how. And I think we've really stepped up in communicating that and helping people and saying, maybe this wasn't right for you before, but now when we're forced to go online with so many things, maybe you should learn how to do it the right way and how to brand yourself now, even if you don't want to do this long term. But everything we learn in our team and in the business school is preparing us to deal with this right now. And we have a sense of calm, and our team continues to grow in this. And I know that you and Frank, you talked about, like, Frank, every time that there was a recession, he made millions in network marketing every single time because people were more open to looking and seeing, and then they built, right? So maybe, I'm not sure if you want to add to that with why even other network marketers right now, realtors, people who are trying to go virtual and really put their business virtual, what we have to offer that's going to help them build that way.
Well, the business school, we've been teaching people to build virtually for 3 years. It's
Mm-hmm.
nothing new to us,
Right.
and so being in self quarantine only meant that everyone that had full-time jobs or part-time jobs can now do this full-time, where they struggled for an hour here, an hour there because they're just learning the skill set. Now
Mm-hmm.
they can do this 8 hours a day
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
they're stuck at home, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you can put more hours behind your network marketing organization, then you can command a tremendous amount of cash flow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And how do you think that we are different in how we're approaching it on our team than others out there?
Well, 10% of what is taught in Overcome Nation is basically what the entire industry teaches.
Mm-hmm.
Just 10% of what we offer. There's
Mm-hmm.
a whole other 90% that we offer in systems and cash flow, the framework of network marketing, not just the philosophy and the mechanics, but the dynamics and the trade secrets and capacity and what is cash flow? Why is it necessary? How to handle your money along the way?
Mm-hmm.
In-depth understanding of mental and emotional strength, physical, financial, spiritual, time strength, perseverance strength, teaching strength, sacrifice strength, all of these strengths that make up capacity. We hit one by one so people really understand how to be very well-rounded in business. The keys to wealth, financial education, is understanding how to make money work harder than you can. And the reason why it's so powerful to be able to apply all of that in your network marketing organization is for, $500 to $1,500, you can build a debt-free business that can pay millions of dollars a year, unlimited. And then now, as that cash flow is coming in, you know what to do with it. You know where to invest it, where to plant it, where to put it, what to pay off. You know how to handle money. They don't teach any of that stuff, none of that stuff in the network marketing space.
Right.
And so we are the only business school in the network marketing space that is that thorough when it teaches the keys to wealth that can be pointed in any direction. I have people on my team that have built businesses and now with this tremendous amount of cash flow, because it's like a fire hose of cash flow, are now buying real estate. And building other businesses outside because they've got this thing to cash flow. But why do you want to do this first? Is you can build it for free. It costs us, I call it free. I mean, it costs $5 to $8 a day to run a network marketing business. $5 to $8 a day. Show me another business where you can do that, right? And have it be debt free. Okay, and so that's very powerful, and unlimited income and international, again, without any of the headaches of a small business owner. So as that cash flow, that passive income comes in, it's coming in as a result of a system that's producing it day and night because you've teamed up with people. And so now as that you have that flow of money, you can take that money and put it into many other things and increase your financial security. Everybody is looking for security. I just don't find security in working for somebody else because they can fire you. If they can fire you, furlough you, or lay you off, to me, they're all the same. Then why do we call that security? It's not security at all. Security is when you call your own shots. Security is when you own your life. Security is when you have cash flow no matter what happens. It continues to find you, whether you are sick or even if you die, it still comes in, right? For your family. And so that's real security. But you can't have that unless you build something that will bring in that pipeline of cash flow. Nobody teaches that in our space. So we will always have one more product, the main product, than any other network marketing company out there, and that's the business school, right? And it cost me, a little over $500,000 in financial education with Sharon Lechter and Kiyosaki and many other mentors. And, when they're on our team, they get all of that. They get all of that. It's priceless. It really is priceless. And understanding the keys to wealth is something everyone in this world has need of, unless you were born rich or you inherited it or, you married into it or whatever whatever that looks like in your life. But if you are a person that wanted to acquire it, and be self-made, every single person needs what Overcome Nation is teaching.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Rick, for jumping on here today. I don't want to go too long because I feel like it was very powerful what you said. And if anyone has any questions or if you are looking for something, reach out to me if you're in my network or Rick if you're in his network. And we would love to help you and show you more specifics about this business plan and how it can help you in this time. So thanks so much, Rick.
Yes, thank you for having me. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.